Seated. All right, this is Heather Marks, 22, 1333, violation of community control violation. You didn't appear for your appointments of probation January 7 or 21. You understand that charge?
Yes.
December 10 and 19 of last year, you tested positive for marijuana. Do you understand that charge?
Yes.
February 26th, admitted use of fentanyl. You understand that charge?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Marks would like to waive her right to both a probable cause and final hearing and her pleas of guilty to violations.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, what's your plea to these violations?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. So what's going on?
So, Your Honor, I had a really good job. I was working at Cornerstone Caregiving through Mentor. I was working a lot, and then my son got sick. He had RSV. That was in January. He wasn't able to go to daycare or anything, so like at that time I resigned from my job, and his dad, who I still live with till this day, we all live together, but he still works, and kids go to school and daycare, whatever. I'm always home really with the babies. Had a lot of issues with his like lungs and breathing problems. He had specialists in Cleveland, a lot of appointments. I got my license back. I was insured. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I did 6 months sober living. I did complete New Beginnings. I slipped up, and I mean, I understand that this is like, it's an addiction. It's not something that's just gonna go away, so I do have to keep working at it. It's not something that just goes away overnight. If that was the case, like, I mean, my mom's dealt with it her life too, but she's sober. She's been sober 14 years. I would just ask, like, can I please, if I could get on even an ankle monitor and go down to reporting once a week again. I have a car I bought from working. I have my license, insurance.
What were the circumstances of your use this time?
I was going around an old person that I used with a couple years, like, back. Up until then, I was doing great. Like, I didn't even have urges. I had good, like, reports with Signature Health. I have a doctor there, psychiatrist, mental health provider. They're all through Signature Health, because last time I was here with Brightview, you weren't really pleased with them, so I switched to Signature Health in Ashtabula.
So who were you hanging around with that you were using with?
Her name's Jennifer.
Jennifer who?
Liddy.
Okay. And why were you hanging around with her?
Well, she was doing really good also. She was working, was doing everything she was supposed to do also, and then relapsed.
Well, when did she relapse? Before you relapsed?
Yeah, I mean, that I would assume, yes.
All right, before you saw her, how long had it been since you had seen her?
It's been about 2 years, 'cause she was living in Dayton, at a sobriety house.
And then she came back to Ashtabula?
Yeah.
And what prompted you to see her that day?
Facebook.
Goddamn Facebook. The garbage can of society. Sorry, Bob. Okay, so how is it that you happened upon her or she upon you on Facebook?
She just messaged me. We were hanging out for a while before, I mean, I could even tell she was using.
Well, what was the message she sent to you?
She just would keep in touch with me. We've been friends for years.
Okay. And so did you arrange to meet with her somewhere?
She came over, yeah.
Came over your house?
Yeah.
What did she want?
She was just coming over and hanging out with me. She was still sober. I'm positive. I can tell when somebody's using and they're not.
Okay.
So
then the two of you are sober at your house, and then what happens?
then it was like, as weeks were going on, I could tell something wasn't right, but I should have just stayed away from her. Instead, I gravitated towards it, which is not what I should have did.
What do you mean something wasn't right?
Like, I can tell when somebody's using.
I thought you told me when she came over she
She was
wasn't.
sober, right. But I mean, as weeks were going on, like, I could tell, first of all, like, she wasn't going to work like she was going to work with us before. And, I mean, that alone, just, like, losing weight, and I can just tell. I can
Okay.
tell.
So tell me how this went then.
What
I
do you?
mean, at some point you used with her, right? You
Yeah.
knew she was using, so why did
Yes,
you
and
still
then
hang around her?
I ended up using with her.
But once you figured out, you were clued in that she was using, why did you still hang around with her?
I don't have a good answer for that, because I don't know.
Well, did you know that hanging around a drug user would put you in danger of using?
Yes.
How do you know that?
'Cause I've been an addict for pretty much my whole life.
And so then, tell me about when you used with her.
I started smoking with her. She was smoking weed, and I smoked with her.
I mean, did she say, come on, let's go smoke some weed, or what?
She had a vape pens, and I was just smoking them with her.
Where did that take place?
Where? At that point, it was at like her house and in the car on the way to work.
And when was this?
Probably around, I would say, Christmas time.
Okay. How many times you been to treatment?
In my whole life. I don't know how many.
Too many to count?
Yeah,
Did you finish treatment when you went to it?
yeah, yes I did. I did, the last 5 or 6 treatments I've completed. Every single, like, piece of it.
Okay, so you're smoking pot with Liddy. And so what other drugs did you use?
Right, like a week before I got arrested, I relapsed on fentanyl.
And what were the circumstances of that?
One thing just always ends up leading back to that, to my drug of choice.
Where'd the fentanyl come from?
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Ashtabula.
Where at?
Where at? Just like a guy that stayed by where we used to work in Ashtabula, the Circle K.
And who was that?
The guy's name? Ray.
Gray?
Ray.
Ray? Ray what?
I don't know his last name.
And how is it that you managed to get a hold of Ray?
I'd seen him at Circle K.
Well, did you go to Circle K looking for Ray?
No.
And what were you doing at Circle K?
I lived by there.
Okay, what were you doing at Circle K though, that you saw Ray?
I go there to get like drinks, and we go there to order food from next door.
And what was Ray doing?
I'm not sure.
Did you go up to Ray or did Ray come up to you?
He came up to me.
And what did he say?
He gave me some stuff. He gave me the stuff to try it, and then from there I got arrested like a week later.
What did he give you?
Fentanyl.
In
whatever
what
else
form?
is
In what
it.
form?
Just like powder.
How much?
I'm not really sure, Your Honor.
He just gave it to you for free?
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
is he giving you drugs for free?
A lot of people try to do that to get you to use again, spend money.
So how many more times did you see Ray for fentanyl?
2. I
At
got
the
arrested.
at Circle K?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that where he hangs out at the Circle K to do his dealings?
I'm not sure.
Well, do you have his phone number?
Yes.
Okay. So you know how to get a hold of him, and that where you would normally arrange to meet him at Circle K?
the 2 or 3 times I've seen him, I did, yes.
Okay. You're not concerned that you're gonna keel over from that shit?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
I don't have like, I don't wanna keep using, I just don't. Like it's, I feel like,
Then why do you?
I don't know, Your Honor, I don't know.
Don't you think you ought to find that out?
Yes,
Okay, now you told me before you started using, when you ran into Liddy on the garbage can of Facebook, that you've been sober for a while. How long?
almost a year,
Almost a year. How did you manage to do that?
by staying away from people that I needed to be away from.
Okay.
And
So
working.
what were you doing during this year time frame?
Working and spending time with my kids.
Okay. Where are your older kids at?
Well, my middle one and my youngest live with me in
Okay.
Troy, and then the oldest lives with his dad's mom.
How old is the middle one?
8.
8? Is that a he or a she?
They're all 3 boys
Okay, where does the middle one go to school?
in Ashtabula
Where?
at Lakeside.
What
It's through
grades?
Lakeside.
What grade's he in?
3rd,
And the little one is 2 years old?
yes,
Okay, so where are those two right now?
with Troy.
What's Troy's story?
He has 3.5 years sober. He works with Clemson Roofing, and I mean he's doing great.
How has he managed to stay sober for 3.5 years?
He really just sticks to himself and is at home or work. That's it.
So you told me you had been sober for a year.
Almost. February 2nd would have been 1 year.
Okay. Were you in a sober living facility?
Yes, I was
Where?
at the Jefferson House in Ashtabula,
For how long?
6 months.
So I'm having a hard time wondering why, if you were sober for almost a year, I presume that you thought you were doing pretty well, right?
Yes,
Do you feel better when you're sober or when you're high?
sober for sure.
Okay. So I'm puzzled, other than the standard answer that you're an addict, as to why you would choose to go back to a situation where it's a creation of misery as opposed to things going well. Why is that?
I'm not sure.
What have you done to find out the answer to that?
I keep up with my mental health and try to at least keep up with that part of it. I know that without my mental health, like, staying up on that, that's another thing that, like, especially like here, like, I'm not getting any of my mental health meds, so,
Okay.
I mean, that helps a
And
lot.
what's your mental health diagnosis?
PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
Okay. What's the source of the PTSD?
Home invasion happened in 2013.
Okay. And so tell me about your mental health treatment.
I've been seeing my doctor at Signature Health, Kelly O'Connor, and I was doing the MAT program there also, seeing my nurse and my doctor.
What's the
separate.
MAT program?
It's medical assisted treatment.
Right, so what's the medication?
Suboxone.
Okay. And how long have you been on Suboxone?
Almost 3 years.
Were you on Suboxone when you started using the fentanyl this time?
Yes.
Okay, and what was your reaction to the fentanyl that you used?
I didn't have a reaction.
You didn't. So isn't the purpose of the Suboxone to block the chemicals of the fentanyl?
Yes.
It didn't work?
No.
Okay.
I think the Vivitrol is what blocks the,
Yeah, I thought it was, but what, do you know anything about this? Whether that's an opioid blocker? I thought it was.
The Vivitrol shot is a.
Well, I know that is, but
Right.
isn't the Suboxone, I mean, what, the,
Suboxone is for the actual appetite for the drug itself, but it is also my understanding that it is, you do not have the same reaction if you're using fentanyl or.
then what the fuck's, what's the point of Suboxone? Can anybody, I mean, you've been in this game
I
20
think
plus
it's
years,
a little
and
like
you've been in
methadone.
it for a while. What the hell is the point of Suboxone?
I think it's kind of like methadone, that it is supposed to be a substitute for the opioid.
Well, it doesn't work, right? It didn't work for you,
No.
okay? So why are you on Suboxone then?
I was just trying to stay away from doing fentanyl.
Okay, it
And
didn't
it
work.
helps with the cravings. It did help at one point.
Okay. I'm always mystified as to why people are given addictive drugs to stay off of addictive drugs. And I can never get an answer to that. You don't have the answer. I don't expect you to have the answer. I expect the Suboxone peddlers to have the answer, but they don't have the answer. They just keep peddling Suboxone. So what's the solution for Heather Marks?
Can I please, Your Honor, just get back down to the one time a week, get into my IOP with Signature Health, and get back with my mental health medications?
Okay. What mental health medications are you taking?
Wellbutrin, Prozac, and gabapentin,
What is that for?
anxiety, depression, and PTSD.
Okay. What counseling do you go through?
Signature Health.
No, what actual counseling do you do? Explain it to me.
I just see my doctor, my psychiatrist.
For
Once a
medication?
month, yeah.
Okay, why is that? If you have, if we're now 12 years past your home invasion, right?
Yes.
Which I'm sure was traumatizing. So is the answer just to feed you psychiatric medication and that's gonna, what's that supposed to do?
I just know it helps with like nightmares and just like, I don't pass, a lot of past trauma. That's it.
Related to that?
Yes.
Okay.
And also my mom being an addict my whole life also.
What?
Also, my mom was an addict my whole life.
Okay. So did Signature Health recommend any type of counseling to deal with these issues or not?
No, I had a case manager, but I already had my own home and I had a license and a job, so she referred that I didn't need to be seen.
Okay, so at one point, they decided you needed a case manager, and at some point, they decided you didn't, that you just needed medication. How does the medication mix with the fentanyl?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Not well, does it?
No.
What's the purpose of the medication?
Supposed to help me, I guess.
How? Do you know?
Just my mental health.
I know, but how? What physically is the medication supposed to do?
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's a problem, that you're not sure, okay? That's a problem, because you show up once a month at Signature, they write you a prescription, is that right?
Yes.
You fill the prescription, and you come back in another month or whatever time period is, and you get a prescription, right?
Yes.
And were they the ones feeding you Suboxone too?
Yes.
Okay. And you take that every day?
Yes.
All right. So you get a month's worth or whatever, a certain time period, and And you take it like you're supposed to take it every day?
Yes.
Okay. See, this isn't working. If the medication were the cure to everything, and then it would be working. It's not working. I mean, how long have you been using drugs altogether?
11 years.
Okay. And is it what got you to start using drugs?
I don't honestly know.
So when you're 30 right now?
Yes,
So when you were 19 roughly, you started using drugs?
yes,
And you don't know why?
no.
What did you start using?
Marijuana,
And then what?
heroin.
Were you addicted to marijuana?
I would like to think so, yes.
What?
Yes.
And it wasn't enough for you at some point? So why did you start using fentanyl?
See, it wasn't enough, I guess. That's the right answer.
Okay. Are you curious as to why you keep using fentanyl when you know you can drop dead at any given moment?
Yes.
And how far have you taken that curiosity?
I think about it a lot.
Okay. That doesn't stop you from taking it, right?
It has.
It has? It didn't this time, right? Why didn't it?
I'm not sure.
Why has it stopped you in the past?
Because I don't want my kid's mom to be gone.
Somebody's got to help me, either you, Mr. Matthews, or you, Ms. Knaus, as to what we're supposed to do with her, because sending her back to Signature Health to take psychiatric meds and Suboxone will only lead to her either being dead or back here again. So what are we supposed to do? Any takers?
Your Honor, I'm not sure it's Signature Health's fault that she failed. I believe it's hers.
Well, it's always ultimately her fault. But what I don't understand, what's that?
She's been given the tools. She's
Okay.
been in treatment for, probably close to 11 years. And she's been given the tools. She chooses not to use them.
That may be 99% true. But I don't understand why somebody who's been diagnosed with depression, PTSD, and anxiety, I'm not sure why the answer is writing prescriptions once a month and sending her on her way along with Suboxone. That seems to me to be Signature Health perpetuating Signature Health. That's what that seems to me to be. And this ain't the first time that's the game at the Palace over on Euclid Avenue in Willoughby and everywhere else around Northeast Ohio. So, I mean, and Ms. Knaus is right, you've been through treatment enough times, and Mr. Matthews brought this up when we were in here, that you know what you have to do. You're just not doing it, okay? But you got more problems beyond that. You got some underlying psychological problems that are the answer that you've been given, and maybe it's because this is what you want to do, is pop some pills and it all goes away, and when you pop the pills, it don't all go away. So, do you have any answers, Mr. Matthews?
Answers, no. I apologize.
Well, If I knew the goddamn answers, I wouldn't be asking you,
Well,
so.
that's fair enough also.
So, you're gonna go back over here, and I'm not gonna sentence you yet, because you're gonna sit here a little while yet, because you're fresh off the fentanyl high. And if I did what you wanted to do, my guess is you'd get a hold of the, what's her name on the garbage can, and be back at it again.
Your Honor, can I please just get signed up for IOP and report once a week to
What-
prove myself?
No, because you're not gonna do it.
I promise that I will do it.
You don't promise me anything because you can't keep your promises, okay? So you're gonna come back, you're gonna sit here for a couple of weeks. And we're not gonna, why would I send you back to the same thing when it hasn't worked? Wouldn't that be irresponsible on my part? I'm gonna send you back to Signatures so they can feed you strips of Suboxone every day
I won't get on
and
the
and
Suboxone.
a bunch of pills and nothing else?
I won't get on the Suboxone program again.
Well, your medical experts over there seem to think that you need to be on it, okay? So I don't know what to do, okay? Other than I'm not sending you back out to do the same goddamn thing again, and have you end up dead this time, until we figure something else out. So